Dak Prescott clarified that there were about 10 people at his party last Friday. Could this party change the way the Cowboys view him and his looming contract negotiations?
I understand people who clutch at the rosary beads and talk about leadership and the behavior you want from that position, but I think it ignores some of the history of this franchise and the history of the man who owns this franchise, who kind of tends to welcome the circus. I remind you that Barry Switzer once walked through an airport and got stopped with a gun, and oftentimes those Cowboys of that era were having lunch at the strip club that was very nearby. You have a team that once had a house they called the White House that was kept and rented by a group of players for sex with women who weren't their wives. The Cowboys embrace all of the stupidity that brings attention to the franchise. Jerry Jones doesn't much care how you're talking about his team as long as you're talking about his team. And while this is dangerous and reckless, he's not in the morals business. He just got Aldon Smith, who hasn't played for 4 years and has a litany of arrests on his resume because he's been really troubled. This is not the team that is the morals police.
No, this will only change the way they view Prescott with regard to this contract. If they wanted to change the way they view Prescott with regards to this contract, understand this. If this were those 90s and Troy Aikman had 10 people at the house, it would be a lot of people thanking Troy Aikman for fighting back against the resistance that is telling us that we can't hang out with each other and we need to hurry up and open up the economy. It all depends on the way that you ultimately want to look at it. But I can tell you one way that it might change the way they view Dak Prescott. If he catch it. Like, the whole problem with him having these people at the house, to me, part of it is that it was really stupid, and it's even stupid under the less than 10 category. What is your circle of trust? You think Zeke been paying that much attention to these sorts of things? Are you putting your faith in Ezekiel Elliott protecting himself in these times? I am not putting my faith in such a thing, but if he wind up catching it, then yeah, this might mess up your bread. If you wind up catching it, I don't think that's going to happen. But look, they're not giving Dak this money, at least as of now. You know why? Because they don't want to give Dak this money as of now. That's all this comes down to. This didn't change anything. It might reinforce what was already there, but nothing is being changed.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Dan, they're not the moral police. They're not a team that comes from a great moral standing. But if they're looking for a reason that they know will be publicly accepted and supported to not give him his contract, now they've got an excuse of like, well, we didn't like the party thing, and it really changed our opinion of him, which it probably didn't. But I would say to the original question, will it change their opinion of him? The only answer can be certainly. Why certainly? Because it's a word that Stephen Jones seems to say when he wants you to take him seriously and think he's being serious. In his statement, he said, I think they're certainly aware of how sensitive these situations are. I don't think you'll be seeing that anymore. They're certainly guys we have the utmost respect for. I certainly know they understand the sensitivity of the situation. It's certainly very serious and something we know, and certainly know they 5 times he said certainly about something that's patently uncertain. We have no idea how many people were at the house because the cops showed up and they didn't know how many people were there. It is very uncertain, and yet certainly something they're taking very seriously.
By the way, because we've had these varying reports of like how many people were at Dak Prescott's house when this all went down. Is it possible that people were like running out the back door and hiding? Did we have people hiding in the closets? Like, I would love to know when boom, 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 boom came at the door, how everybody immediately turned 17 years old and is like, yo, where we gonna go? How we gonna hide?
One time when I was in high school, my parents would go away for a week every year, and it was called Cancun Week in my high school because everybody knew that was the week I was going to have parties. And one year, they brought friends with them, and so the friends parked their car at our house. I didn't think it through. I had a party in my garage, which was the only place I could control spilling and stuff. And one night I got a call that was like, oh, we got to come pick up our car. So I was like, oh, I have a party of people. So I made everybody get in the garage and be perfectly quiet while somebody came to pick up their car. The car was dead and I had to jump it. So an entire party of high schoolers with a garage door between them and the adults stayed perfectly quiet so that nobody knew they were there. And then afterwards, we just raged. Like, we all felt like we became closer.
Even Bomani, if there was social distancing at that party, it might have ended when everyone scurried into a part of the house when the police came. Actually, Dak's house, even without that contract, is probably large enough to hold everybody who was at Texas Stadium on Sunday.
Also, I mean, I'll say this. I would be honest with you. if I'm going to leave the house in these times in that way, it's going to be for a reason that, like, social distancing is antithetical to. Like, that's just all I'm saying is that, like, if the idea is we going to go to a party and we going to stand 6 feet away from each other, we've completely defeated the purpose of doing this.
What do you mean?